What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's kind of been a long time since I last posted a video, and I am so sorry. I just kind of dropped off the platform. I was kind of dealing with my own stuff and trying to focus a little bit more on my mental health, just to kind of keep me sane and not absolutely crazy. But the last year was absolutely amazing. I got to do so many really cool things, but I just really needed to focus on um, my noggin so that I wasn't going absolutely nuts. But I'm in a pretty good place right now, and due to COVID-19, obviously everyone has been told to stay inside. So I hope you guys are following the directions and not leaving the house. I would like this thing to end just as fastly as you guys would. Fastly, is that a word? I don't think fastly is a word. Anyway, it doesn't matter. For today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. On my Instagram, I asked you guys to send me some questions that you guys wanted to know. And for this video, we're going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A while I get ready. I haven't really done anything like this before, so it's going to be a little bit different for me. So hopefully you guys stick with it and watch till the end and just kind of like hang out with me. I promise I'm pretty cool. So let's just jump right in. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but I did a video a really long time ago where I was like trying out the Real Techniques makeup sponges, and this is her now. Feel old yet? Do you see how it's so disgusting and mangled? But they're so good. I actually really like these sponges. When I got those, I got two. So I have a one that's like not as messed up, but I'll be using that one today. But I also will probably be using this one too. So let's just jump right in. So what I usually do is I will start with my brows. So let's get into that. And while I do that, I'm going to answer the first question that I received. Perfect. So the first question that I got was from Tyler Grimes, and he asked, tips aside, what do you miss the most about performing live? I think the thing that I miss the most about performing live is just the connection that you make with the people in the audience. I miss seeing other people's faces and seeing like people just like receiving what I'm doing, because like when you do like online performances, it's cute and it's fun or whatever, but like it's not like there's no like reception really. It's always just like you perform and then there's like silence, which is like really weird for me. So I don't know, like I'd say that I think I missed that the most. I missed like the reception from the audience the most. Also, I just missed like drinking. All right, so my brow products haven't really changed, but I've changed up the way that I do my brows. So I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Ash Brown, and I am going to take it on a little tiny angled brush. And what I like to do is I like to take it from right here on my brow and then just kind of go upwards and then outwards. If it doesn't look crazy, you're not doing it right. You're going to want to take a little bit more product and just thicken it up a little bit. Right, and without taking any extra product on my brush, I'm going to I'm going to fade down the product and just kind of like feather it into my skin. So your brow should look something like this if you're following along. Right here is a little bit messed up and a little bit kind of janky, so you don't have to worry about that too much right now because we are going to clean it up. So taking my Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, I'm using the shade Light 46. It's a cool toned, and I'm going to clean up the edge on the top of my brow. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the rest of the product and just kind of brush it up into your forehead just to make it as smooth as possible. Now going in with a lighter foundation shade, I'm going to put that in the center of the forehead and carve out the brow in the front half of the brow. So now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and powder it using my Coty Airspun translucent powder. All right, going back into my questions, I have another question from Tiffany Box, and her question is, what is my biggest drag pet peeve, and what is my favorite makeup product? My biggest drag pet peeve would be probably not like a thing specific to drag, like as in makeup, costumes, and stuff like that. It's more so about like how queens act. I think it's important for queens to be humble and not think of themselves as too big. Once you start thinking too big of yourself, then you start losing the fun of drag, and it's just like competitive and stupid at that point. So I think that's probably like my biggest pet peeve. And my favorite makeup product is glitter. I love glitter. Anytime I can use glitter, I am absolutely obsessed with it. I'm really, really a big fan of the Stila liquid eyeshadows. I think these ones are absolutely amazing. My favorite shade is Perlina. Before we continue cleaning up the brow, we're going to take our contour, and I'm using the Anastasia contour palette, and I'm going to take all three of the bottom shades, and I'm just going to quickly go along the perimeter of my forehead. Some people say less is more, but I like to say more is more. So to deepen up the outer portion of the brow and help clean it up a little bit, we're going to go into my Sugar Pill Bulletproof eyeshadow with a little bit of the MAC mixing medium. It just helps to make products a little bit more easy to apply. Adds like it just makes any like sort of pigment into like a paint, which is easier for me to work with. I love working with the mixing medium. It's one of my favorite products that I've recently come into contact with. So I guess that answers the question as well. I guess the mixing medium is one of my favorite products as well. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do what I did for the brows in the beginning, but just on the outer portion of the brow and fade it into the brown. So while we move along, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about myself because I feel like I haven't really let you guys know a little bit about me. My name out of drag is Devin. I'm from London, Ontario, Canada. I've lived here my entire life. Um, I am a very, very shy, quiet person. I've always been that way. Um, I didn't come out until my second year of college, and then shortly after I came out, I dropped out of college and started doing drag almost immediately. My favorite musical artist in the world is Miss Lady Gaga. I've always loved her so much. She was like a huge inspiration and part of the reason why I was able to come out and come to terms with who I am as a person. So I'm not sure if Gaga will ever see this, but I just want her to know that she is my everything. And funny enough, that kind of leads into the next question that I got on my Instagram. And the question was from Calvin uh, Guiano. I don't want to butcher this last name, but Calvin, thank you so much for your question. His question is, what is my favorite Lady Gaga look? And it kind of ties in with my favorite Lady Gaga song. I love her look from the Judas video. I loved the biker look with the headband. I loved it so much. It was my absolute favorite. Just taking the light foundation that I used for the highlight, and I'm just carving out the underside of the brow. So if you guys have any questions for me in the comment section here, you guys can leave them, and I will try to respond to them as much as I possibly can. Um, if you guys have any suggestions for future videos that you guys want to see, I would love to hear your input. Miss Tiffany Box, who left a question earlier, suggested a wig video, and I've gotten a lot of people suggesting that I do more wig styling videos. So that's definitely on the table for things that I would love to do in the future. But if you guys have any specific ideas that you guys want to see me do, definitely just leave them down below. And I'm just going to go ahead and set the brow highlight. Alright, so I just went ahead and set the whole brow area and made sure everything is nice and smooth. And we are going to move on to our next question that I received, which is from my good friend Rainbow Gemstone on Instagram. Hey girl, what's up? You asked me, what is my favorite non-mainstream artist or musician? I really like Ash Nico and Joji. I think they are really talented artists that deserve a lot more recognition. They are just super talented when it comes to music, and their visuals are just so cool. If you haven't heard of them, definitely go check them out. Those are some of the people that I like to listen to. So getting started with the eyeballs, we're going to be doing a super fun look today. And I recently purchased a knockoff flash palette from Amazon. It was super cheap, but I just wanted to give it a go because like I liked the color selection that's in it. Obviously mine is really dirty because I've already like really dug into it. So I'm going to be taking some of these blue and teal-y sort of shades, and I'm going to mix those together and make a blue creasy color, and we're going to apply that to the inner portion of our eye. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the teal color and a little bit of the blue color, mix it together on my hand. And as we're going to apply it, we're also going to sort of stipple it and kind of blend it. Do the same thing but on the outer portion of the eye, going up to the tail of our brow. Alright, so continuing with the eye, we're going to go into this Beauty Glazed Color Fusion palette, and I'm going to be going in with this really bright cobalt blue color right here, and I'm going to go and start blending along the edge of the shades that we just put down. In the same palette, there is a darker blue right on top of it. We're going to go in with that, and we are going to merge these two colors together here. Going in with a lighter blue color, I'm going to buff that on top of the dark blue. Alright, so off camera I got a little bit carried away and I finished off my eye makeup. So what I did is I cut the crease with a green pigment from my knockoff flash palette, and then I topped it off with a shimmer green eyeshadow from Sugar Pill. I used the shade Acid Berry by Sugar Pill. And then I topped that off with the Heavy Metal Liner Glitter from Urban Decay in the shade Distortion. It's like a green reflective color. And then I just did a tiny little white line just to cut the crease a little bit more and add a little bit more fun to the eye. What we're going to do now is move on to the lower half of the face, and I'm going to start with my nose contour. But before I start that, I have another question that I want to answer from the Q&A, and this one comes from Jenna.Redmond_, and she says, if you could time travel, future or past, where would I go and why? I would like to travel to the future because the past wasn't really good for minorities. We had the Holocaust, slavery, everything else. So I really don't want to be a part of that. I would rather move on to the future where things are hopefully a little bit more kind to my people and people like me. So yeah, the past wasn't really great. Let's just get that out of the way. Let's move on to the future of this face and start working on the nose contour. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my Anastasia cream contour palette, and I am going to slowly start drawing on my nose contour. And I just go like that, the little dot, and then I slowly taper away from that dot, going up to the front of my brow. I'm just doing little dot motions. And then I do the same thing on the other side. If you mess up, it's okay because it is cream, so you can always just blend it away. Alright, so that's all the product that I need on my nose. So I'm going to take off all the product from the brush, and I'm going to really start trying to buff that in. I'm actually going to take a little bit of my foundation shade on my brush, just the basic foundation shade, and that's what we're going to use to blend the color. So I'm just going to start up here and just slowly start tapping and blending upwards into the brow. So the nose contour should look something similar to this right now. Shouldn't really look like too much. It should look like your regular skin tone, but like up here it should look a little bit more like a contour. So I'm going to go in with my powder contour palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm going to mix the light shade on top with the middle shade on the bottom, and I'm going to dust that over top of what we just put down. This will kind of set the stickiness of the cream that we just put down, but it will also add as a little bit of a darker tone. Alright, so going in with my mid-tone foundation color, I'm going to apply that all over my face and my neck. Taking my highlight shade, and I am going underneath the eye in a light little triangle sort of shape. And I'm going to bring that up onto the nose bridge a little bit. Sorry, not the bridge, on the sides of the nose. You really don't want to put it on the bridge because that's where we put the contour. Oops. And we're just going to continue blending. I'm going to take this on top of my lip a little bit. And then we're going to take this right beside the liner and clean up that line. I'm just going to go ahead and set the entire face and neck area. Taking my big fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into my old Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette, and I'm going to take the shade Courtney and use that as my contour for my nose. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my little tiny angled brush and a little bit of my light highlight foundation shade, and I'm going to put some of that shade on the back of my hand, and then we are going to use that to brighten up the bridge of the nose and reinforce that shape. So I like to start right on the tip and do a little tiny dot. Just like that. And then now I'm going to draw a line going all the way up to this area up here to make it all connect. We're going to leave a little bit of space so that it's not all connected. I'm going to take another brush with no product on it, and I'm going to go on the sides of the nose and just clean up the edge of the new highlight that we just put on the nose. I'm going to take my powder again and just go all the way down my nose. What we're going to do is we're going to take our contour palette again and take the deepest shade, and we're going to go underneath the little white dot that we did on the tip of the nose. Right, so moving on, we're going to do the cheek contour, and I actually made a stencil for myself. So it was a piece of cardboard that I covered with duct tape, and I covered it with duct tape because it just makes it feel a little bit more thick, and it's easier to pull away from the face, and it doesn't stick as much. It kind of just like slips right off the face, and you won't have to worry about it kind of like taking the makeup off with it. So I like to angle it from my mouth up to the top of my ear, just a little bit higher, just like that, and then I fill it all in with my contour, and I use all of the shades from my Anastasia contour palette. Next, I just take my big fluffy brush and go really softly along the jawline. I just do like dabbing motions like I do on my forehead, and then I slowly start to blend that away. Alright, so for my blush today, I'm going to be going in with Dolly Pop by Sugar Pill. It is a hot pink, and it's really, really vibrant. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to really aim it towards this portion of my face. I really want that sort of like 80s look where the blush kind of connects into the eyeshadow. Alright, so I am all complete with my base and my contour and all of that fun stuff. The last thing we have to do for the eyes is the lower portion of the eyes. But before we do that, I'm going to answer one more question from you guys on Instagram. And this last one comes from Mikey Pup, who is my brother, if you don't know. And he asked, what's a look you've always wanted to do but haven't been able to do due to maybe being too scared? A look that I've always wanted to do. I feel like I've done most of the looks that I've wanted to try, but I think one of the looks that I really always wanted to do would be like super like glam pageant. I haven't really delved into that too much. I've done like really glamorous looks before, but I feel like the whole pageantry dresses and like the just how elegant those queens are. I'd love to try something like that, but I think I'm too scared to delve into something like that because I don't think I'm good enough. But you know, it's okay. We'll get to that bridge when we cross it, you know, like I'm not too worried about it. All right, so moving on to the bottom of the eyes, we're going to use the same products that we used for the top of the eyes. So I'm going to go back in with that fake flash palette that I got off Amazon, and I'm going to take those two blue shades yet again, and I'm going to mix them together on the back of my hand, and we are going to start carving out the bottom portion of the eyes. Alright, so I just added a little bit of glitter right on top of the blue eyeshadow on the bottom just to add a little bit more sparkle to the look because you can't ever have too much glitter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to carve out the inner portion of the eye area with some white, and I'm going to be using Drug Lord liquid lipstick by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. It's really, really bright white, and it's super thick and opaque. Alright, so off camera, I just went ahead and finished off the lips. I went in with a little bit of the red from the Flash palette alongside some red eyeshadow topped off with the Carousel Gloss by Lime Crime. And then I just added a little line of white above the Cupid's bow area of the lip to look like a little bit of a lip highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and throw on my lashes and my little outfit, and then I will come back and show you guys the finished completed look, and then I will close out this video. Alright you guys, so this is the completed look, all finished. I just threw on these big ass lashes and I put on this big yellow hair to go with the crazy makeup that we got going on today. So while I was getting dressed, I got a few more questions on Instagram, so we're going to go through these really fast. The first question is from Sarah Zarowski, and she said, fuck, marry, kill with the Backstreet Boys. I'm not too familiar with the Backstreet Boys, like all of their names, because I didn't really like the Backstreet Boys that much. But I did like Howie. Howie was my favorite. So I would say marry Howie, fuck Kevin, and then kill Brian. And then the other ones don't really matter because I don't really remember them. Um, so the next question comes from Pizza Party Slut, work bitch. She asked, what are my top 3 favorite movies? I would say Across the Universe, Rent, and A Star is Born. I like musicals. Evan J. Will asked, are you excited for Drag Race Canada? I am absolutely stoked for Drag Race Canada. I don't even know how to explain it, but like there are so many amazing queens in Canada that are on that show, and if you guys aren't watching, you guys better watch because there is so much talent in Canada. You guys better freaking tune in because I'm so excited. I'm really, really rooting for my Toronto girls. I really love Boa, Juice, and Priyanka, and I'm pulling ahead for them. I'm also a huge fan of Kine, so we shall see. I'm not sure what's going to happen or who's going to place where, but I'm super excited for all of my Canadian sisters to get a chance to be on that platform because it is huge. All right, so the last question that I received was from Robin Rink, and she asked, "What's it like being God's favorite?" Well, I wouldn't know. Life hasn't dealt me the greatest hand, so I don't think I'm his favorite. If anything, he hates me very, very much. But with that being said, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for checking me out again and sticking through it to the end if you've made it this far. I love you guys so much. But until the next time, I will have to say goodbye. Bye, guys.